Ya Ali Madat. Today, CCS is specifically here to talk about the leap of hope. How thinking about others first can help us feel stronger about ourselves, simply by focusing on hope. So, before we speak about hope, let us start today's session by closing our eyes and primarily thinking externally. Close your eyes and let us think about the everyday lives and circumstances of those who are suffering tremendously right in this moment. Take a moment to breathe through this thought. Then, as a secondary thought, let us think internally about the nation we live in, our families, and our everyday life circumstances. Breathe through this. Let us open our eyes and may we have strength to face reality.
A lot of people, externally and internally, especially across the most affected nations, are undergoing different levels of constant worry. Whilst most of this could be caused by the news channel updates or social media pressures, the other half of it may be caused by our own negative thoughts and other idealizations about the things that remain beyond our individual control.
Some of us were striving with the new year and the excitement to make new resolutions, to live better, but others may have been already coping with difficult life circumstances. That too, not knowing that additional sudden changes will bring a turmoil overnight. All of this can become very overwhelming for a single individual to even process their own well-being.
So, on a positive note, it is normal to feel like things aren't the same anymore. Feeling worried, experiencing physical random pains like headaches and backaches. In fact, a lot of our energy might be spent on being lazy, bored, tired, unsure, confused, or displaced. What does this mean? It means that for some of us, we are reacting to and getting involved with the pandemic circumstances. That is, despite the fact that we may already be directly or indirectly affected.
Did you know, from the mental health perspective, it is of utmost importance for us to remember that the kind of stresses we are dealing with now are different from the everyday stresses we were once used to. Earlier, we could control certain stressors or work on them later when the time felt right. But now, for a lot of people, especially countries on lockdown, life has become a sudden pause with no tentative play button. And generally, a lot of us, we had milestones to complete this year, which now perhaps we haven't, we can't, or we will not be able to reach. And that is okay.
2 weeks ago, we shared with you this continuum that you may be able to see on your screens currently. Look at the yellow portion of the mental health continuum model and ask yourselves, where do you feel you stand at this point? Where do you see yourselves on this mental health continuum model? And how can you move to the greener side of life?
Speaking of solutions, CCS may not give you 20 different solutions and ask you to do all of them. Rather, it is about what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Look at the pie chart on the screen and balance your wheel. For example, if you are an emotional person, write down a journal or see a therapist. If you are a physical person, create your home workout routine. If you are a community person, remind yourself that we are still connected. We are all at the same moment doing the exact same thing. That is, missing our Jamaat Khana and feeling disconnected. So, despite the fact that we can't be together physically, we are nevertheless connected as one Jamaat. Are you a creative or spiritual person? Create your God box and drop all the things there that are beyond you. Be mindful, because these are things you need to remind yourself of, that sometimes you have to leave it to God. And if you are the intellectual type, then create your positive affirmations and stick them up where you can see them every morning. For example, I am fine, I am okay, I am enough.
Today is the occasion of Shukravari Beach. Soon we shall begin a new routine, a routine that involves self-improvement, spiritual reflections, and heightened devotion for the end of all global calamities. As we await to make our Ramadan observations, let us start by
Let us appreciate the different learnings we are offered by the Almighty.
abiding to all the safety measures that have been recommended, be it social distancing, sanitizing ourselves, or avoiding unnecessary movements.
Let us continue to practice self-improvement while we reflect upon our spiritual wellness.
And finally, let us repeat the sequence and remind 3 other people to do the same.
This Ramadan, let us reflect upon our reasons for existence, our purpose. This is a time to realize and accept that there are no miraculous cures, and that patience and perseverance is what will get us through this.
Remind yourself that it's okay to express your emotions in difficult times, be it anger, sadness, stress, or frustration. Vent it out, release it.
But remember, let us use this time to appreciate life's bounties. And what does that mean? Even if you can't go out in nature, focus on the majority of your routine by eating well, sleeping well, taking care of others who need our support, and showing gratitude.
Speaking of gratitude, take this moment for all the lessons that it has taught you. Remind yourself that it could have been worse. Therefore, don't forget to look forward to each day for its tiniest of beauties and for the littlest of reasons.
10 years down the line, how do you wish to answer the question, what did I do for myself, for the Jamaat, or for those who went through this one-of-a-kind global pandemic?
Lastly, live each moment as though we have received a gift from the Almighty for a long vacation to spend time with our families. Let this be the time for us to upgrade to a new skill, regain all our lost sleep, and do all the things that we never really have time for. As a result, we must sit through our feelings, not around it. Thank you, and Ya Ali Madad.